Shalom, Yashar Allah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Chodash. Double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I'm coming at you with this lesson again. This will be the second time trying to do this lesson, so Lord willing, everything works out with the audio file. Esau was messing with my channel. Me speaking as a man, I believe it's because I read a certain article off of a website that I believe was probably flagged under Esau's algorithms because I read a couple paragraphs word for word in the article that I read about this on the website. So if you want to look more into it, the website is the second website that comes up when you search Google, when you say border enforcement zone, 100-mile radius. And it'll go into the details of what it actually is. So without further ado, I wanted to get right into it and really just touch on real quick, because I can't go into the article. I'm going to test out putting this video up without it. But again, if brothers want to look it up, it's an easy search. And this is something that a lot of the prophets have done lessons on in the past. This map and this info is actually a couple years old. I remember doing this lesson on the same subject, talking about the 100-mile border enforcement zone. And what that means is that there is no constitution in that 100-mile zone surrounding any Babylonian the Great border, and which means that you can see people's privacy being invaded. You don't have the certain rights. They can do checkpoints. They can do searches. They can arrest you without certain crimes being charged directly at you. They can discriminate however they want. They can go in any house they want. Salakia. So what that is entailing is it makes so much sense of what you're seeing, what's going on right now with the raids of the alphabet people that are going against the northern tribes, the Latinos, Native Americans, as well as the Southern Kingdom. Getting them back to their so-called foreign native countries, which we know that they're not sending us back to our true land, which is on the other side of the world. Nor is it their place to. But the point being is that they're just scattering Jake, because there's even more, because they're sending them some to Africa, some to places in South America, places far away. So with all this that I'm saying, because it went into it a little bit more in the article, which, at this point, I'm just going to put a link to that article in this description. So I'm going to do it after it uploads successfully. But Yahweh Ratazah, I'll make sure to get it in there. But Jacob's trouble is happening right now, especially to the northern kingdoms. And before I keep blabbering on even more, I'm going to get a scripture, because what you need to understand is that Jacob's trouble is not some 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. It is happening right now. You have whole families being snatched up. You have the government being shut down right now. No food benefits, SNAP benefits, they are saying, are going to be put out after November if this government shutdown continues. They're talking about World War III every other day in the news. Nuclear threats here, nuclear threats there. You have different countries invading one another. You have the U.S. dollar at an all-time low, lost 10% of its buying power just this year alone. You have different countries that are testing Babylon the Great in ways that they have never before. And all this is pointing towards the collapse of the world that you know in this day, which is Jacob's trouble. And like I said, it's not far off. It's already happening to the northern kingdoms living in Babylon the Great that may not have certain paperwork under Esau's laws, which if you want to start with immigrants, start with sending these damn pasty ass Edomites back. But they're not going to do that. They're not after Polish, Slavic, damn Ukrainians that can't even fucking speak English at all, you know, that just have the appearance of a so-called white man, so they get the pass, man. They don't even get searched, because this is Jacob's trouble that's happening, you know. And this 100-mile border radius around the United States is showing you that it's happening right now in real time. And the point being is that the prophets have done lessons on this years ago. So this is Jeremiah 30 and verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Where do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So this is just describing the sheer agony that these men are going to be dealing with. If these men are going to be dealing with this type of agony, travail, pain, how much more so the women, the children, the helpless, the elderly? It's going to be through out here. Everybody's going to be begging for a miracle, praying to whatever God they believe in. But we understand that Jacob is going to be saved out of it. This is verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And he will be saved out of it. That's the elect, the remnant. That's not all 12 tribes worldwide coming back, blitzing the churches, doing food drives, doing marches down your so-called community. That's not what it's about. Jacob being saved out of it is the elect remnant, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Jacob, which make up the 144,000 elect, as well as the 1/3 and the innumerable multitude worldwide. And it's only going to increase to the point where people are searching houses door to door with the sword because of the amount of unaliving that's going to be around worldwide. You know, and you can see the effects of what's going on with the people that, like I said, don't have Esau's paperwork, that are scared to even leave their houses, go to the grocery store, pick up their kids from school. This is a very traumatic time that the world has not really set in the gravity of what's happening, because it's not happening to them. But once this DJ Nero has all his troops in position, there's nothing anybody can tell him. And this lie that we've been fed, saying that, oh, the Babylonian the Great's army would not fire upon its own citizens, that is a lie. And they will carry out orders, because that is what they are trained to do. So again, understand that people are going to be coming so down low, and the unaliving is going to be so great, that I always like to get into the scriptures, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, you know, just because it is what is happening right now. Salakia. Here we go. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 31. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. So again, the amount of resources in these cities is going to be consumed rapidly. No one here is an independent food grower. Everyone depends on a grocery store, a Costco, a Fred Meyer, a Walmart to feed themselves, to clothe themselves. So when you don't have anything coming in because everybody doesn't have money to save for extra food. Some people go to school just to eat breakfast, lunch, and then they don't eat anything when they go home because their parents are all cracked out or something. You know, imagine when there's no SNAP food benefits. These crazy Sharkishas and these damn Edomites are going to go crazy. You know, so the amount of people that are going to consume the resources is a lot. And these resources are going to be ate up very quickly. So, and it's just giving you a description of how rare food is going to be, especially in these last days, of how people are going to be searching each other's houses with the sword. That is a modern day, you know, killing instrument. This is verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields therefore shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. And I always read this and I always imagine the first beginning scene in the movie I Am Legend. Most people have seen it. I Am Legend, it shows you the New York City overgrown, flooded, animals running wild, different packs of deer, overgrown streets. So it doesn't take that long, man. Once people stop cutting the grass gets tall pretty quick, and vegetation is very strong when left unattended. It will break through wood. I've seen roots break through concrete. So it's a very, quick process of how quickly these cities can change once society stops moving like normal. And Esau thinks that he can get everybody in these little 15-minute cities. That's not the case. So again, the amount of war that's going to be going on, Jacob's trouble, and not to mention, like I showed you in the first picture, going back to this picture right here, there's already a 100-mile border enforcement zone that the Constitution does not exist, and that they can use and abuse and do anything they want to you in the name of border security and the name of keeping people out that they want to keep away from reaping the so-called benefits of being a Babylonian, the great citizen, which are very few. It's pretty much a tax and debt slave to the little hats over there in our land right now. So again, I had planned this lesson a little different, but I did want to get that information out there, talking about the main point is that you can understand why these raids are taking place in the major cities that are around the coast, because they have different laws that they don't need to operate around, i.e. the Constitution. There's no right of privacy. They can search anything, all in the name, once again, of border security. So Jacob's trouble, the laws are already on the books. And they say, so lucky that I even forgot to bring up this point earlier, that 2 out of every 3 Americans live in this zone, the 100 miles circumference around the lower 48 states, which is called the continental United States. Babylonian the Great, Salakia, been trying to be good all day, not say anything like that to get the video flagged, but as you see, all of Hawaii, Alaska, mostly. So again, man, this is happening right now. We see videos every day of Issachar getting snatched up at school, kids getting snatched up, getting into the cars of their parents, man. It's what's happening right now. But understand that that's all judgment according to Yahweh Bashim Yashai, as well as salvation to getting some of these tribes out of Babylon the Great before shit gets really real. For all these resources are ate up and people are going crazy. So, I wanted to get into one more scripture before I leave this lesson, because there's another point I wanted to get in 2nd Ezra 15. Okay, here we go. So going into that enforcement zone, they can set up lockdowns, checkpoints, as well as these cities and these highways. It is a way to trap people, So you're not going to be able to move freely, which is another point that I wanted to show you, that of how quickly there's not going to be any movement of resources, and how quickly there's going to be famine setting in. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So the different scary situations that you can put yourself in, being separated from your family, being away from work, being on a vacation, and this goes down, man, it'd be wild. This is verse 18. Why is this going to happen? For because of their pride, these wicked 2/3 and these damn heathen that have been oppressing Jake. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, going into the food shortage and the barbarian, every man for himself type society. Verse 19 again, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Why? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And the lack of bread is going to come by way of, like I said, everybody is dependent upon these grocery stores. I think I was looking at 6 and 22, and how quickly these resources are going to be eaten up. Yep, here we go. Because again, people are gonna be in the survival of the fittest mode. Yeah, my family or yours, I'll do anything for my family. Oh, that neighbor that you lent a cup of sugar to, and you let them into your house and said, oh look, I got this stocked up. Oh, if COVID happens again, look how much toilet paper I have, and look at this, and look, man, he's gonna be coming for you, your whole shit, your kids, your wife, everything, man. So this gonna get barbaric out here. And it's not telling you to talk shit. This is painting the reality of the world that we live in, that you must be prepared to see with your eyes, because the elect are going to be taken care of, man. They're not going to have to worry about that. And if something happens, the Lord is going to keep them safe. But you other people, man, you need to be fearful, because you don't have any stocks. And if you have stocks, can you defend those stocks? Is that person down the street that's no one likes and talks to because he's a grumpy old man, do you know what he got in his fucking closet? He got more artillery than fucking half of the Foot Locker at the police station, man. You know, it's crazy. And these people, and that's normal. I've seen these Edomites closets, man. They are packed with pews. If you know what I'm saying, man. So again, if you do not have a means to protect your resources, they are not your resources. They are whoever has the bigger stick to come and take them from you. Because why? These grocery stores are going to be shut down. Everything's going to go to a digital dollar. It's going to be a financial collapse of where this man is going to control the money. That's also going to be adding to the famine that's already taken place. So this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly, and that is suddenly, it means without warning. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because who knows? The Babylon the Great could have a secret plan to burn warehouses. Hint, hint. Disrupt rails. Hint, hint. And isn't that what was happening? All these warehouse fires, these farms shutting down, these independent farmers trying to blame immigrants, so-called, but the whole time their own government was selling them out so that some Chinese businessman or some BlackRock stock can come buy up their family farm for low. So you have to really understand the times that you're living in, and understand that all this is snowballing effect towards Jacob's trouble. And if that doesn't scare you, me trying to elaborate what the scriptures is saying, hey man, Lord willing, that you could pray about it and really understand about the times that we're living in, because this is not a time to be, thinking you have time, because things can go crazy. Look, the government shut down right now. Who knows, another couple months if this continues, people are going to be rioting in the streets with pews. So Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chodash, and double honors again to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.